Hello everyone, I am back after not making a video for ages and ages because I had so many different things that I wanted to review and I couldn't really think of anything particular to do a full review about. So now I have just been for my fourth tattoo session, so it seems like the perfect time to discuss with you if you are having trouble with finding vegan inks. I actually have some photos and the names which I was supposed to put on my last video from my tattoo artist when I went to see her today. So hopefully if you haven't been able to find out more about the inks and things in the video that I was talking about last time, then this time it should clear things up a little bit. So I will post links to those and put pictures of those up so you can do your own research and things like that. Also, if you are vegan and you haven't got a vegan ink tattoo yet, or you do it, it's good fun. And mainly today I am talking about how to look after your said vegan tattoo, and I'm going to show you a little bit more about of the work that I've had done today, just to show it off. But mainly using Lush products, as I always talk about, and my personal views about what the best tried and tested. What is this bit of hair doing? What is all that about? Awful. Anyway, about what I find are the best things to use. I noticed a lot of questions about which products do staff find help the most. As you might have noticed, a lot of Lush staff do have tattoos, so a lot of us have some good advice to offer customers. Obviously it has to be everybody's individual choice, but I'm going to share with you what my top products are to use. There's definitely less is more. There's maybe 2 products that I would say are for sure, definite, gotta have them. And then there's a couple of things that it's your choice if you want to use as well. And there's one non-Lush product in there as well, so it's not a complete Lush fest. So firstly I will show you the addition to my Green Man / Alice in Wonderland tattoo. You can see how swollen my arm is along here, which is quite fun because it makes me just look like Popeye compared to my other arm. So today was this guy here. So all the outline had been done, but all this colouring in has been done. So the dormouse in the teacup, which is all like vintage looking, antique-y, and it's all cracked and worn, which is really great. I love it. And also the Green Man's hand that the cup is being sort of cradled in like this. He's all been started, his hand here, and all the way up here has been done as well, so this patch. So feeling a little bit sore. However, nothing compared to the March hair. He's still doing well from a good couple of months ago now since I had any work on him. I get loads and loads of compliments on it. A lot of people ask me where I've had it done. Again, if you haven't seen the other video, I will put a link across the screen along here right about now for Forever Bound Tattoo, which is the tattoo studio in Bristol that I go to. They use cruelty-free, vegan-friendly inks. The owner, Tony Moore, and one of the other tattoo artists there as well, Alice, are both vegan, so they're really good to have a little chat about if you're thinking of you wanting to know what products are being used and know a bit more about them. And also, obviously, they're super cool artists. So Tony is my tattoo artist. My other post goes on and on about how nice it is to find a tattoo artist that knows what's in your head, and a lot of people do ask in Bristol where you can get decent tattoos in general, even if it isn't to do with being vegan or cruelty-free inks or anything like that. So it's nice that I just walk around and people stop me and be like, where did you get your ink done? Because I was that person once, and just like asking people where they got decent work from, because it can be hard to find when there's a lot of studios and you don't really know which one to pick, especially if it's your first piece or your first big piece. So yeah, do check out my other video because I'm not going to waffle on like I did on that. Hopefully this one's a little bit better quality as well, so you've been able to see the tattoo in a better light, and hopefully I'll be able to edit it better and it's not just me sat on my bed with the webcam, which was a bit shit like last time. Okay, so first of all, if you're completely new to tattoos in general, what you'll notice, this is about 3 or 4 hours old now, and a lot of tattoo artists will cover up with either white roll or cellophane or cling film. Will cover your tattoo so that it's covered from the elements when you go home. It's quite nice to stop if you've got a long sleeve top on, for it rubbing your skin and irritating, and also to stop anything if you've got your arms or your limbs, wherever you've been tattooed, out against the air, stop anything getting into it basically. However, I personally find, and I know a lot of people that have got sort of fair sized pieces of work done, that it's quite a good idea to take off that covering after a good few hours, just once you've got home, and it's nice to air your skin out. And what you'll notice is it's really slimy. Well, some people are more slimy than others. I get really slimy, and like the plasma from your skin is making it feel a bit like sticky, and obviously they may coat it with some sort of balm or like petroleum jelly or something before you leave anyway, so there can be residue of that on. Mine feels perfectly dry now. It's very hot and it has risen up. My arm just does that, it swells up. It's not particularly painful, swelling, so don't freak out if that happens. General tattoo advice. But what you're going to need is, because obviously your skin is quite raw, the main thing that people tend to want is something to cool the skin down, calm the skin down, but obviously isn't going to be too heavy and irritate the skin. Of course, when it starts to scab as well, you need something that's going to be really intensely moisturising, but again really gentle. So I feel that is what like some of these cool products that Lush have are really fit the bill for those things, and that's all they are, is gentle, moisturising, calming, and that's exactly what you want on a tattoo. If you can get away from petroleum chemicals as well, like there's the really popular one that everybody knows that begins with a V, comes in a little tin. My personal opinion, stay away. Not when you can get other lovely things. So the lovely things I'm going to show you are, first of all, Dream Cream. So a lot of you are going to know this or have heard of it, or maybe use it if you have been advised it for skin irritation, sensitive skin, anything like that. It is a hand and body cream, and this is what it looks like. So it looks like every other pot that Lush do, so it's black with white writing, and you'll notice that there's a slight difference because, oh, this one's lid's upside down. This one here is pretty sort of normal pot. This one's exactly the same, however it just has a little band across the top in white and green that says self-preserving, and it's also on the lid. So what self-preserving means is it's a really great option for people that are maybe wanting to get away from parabens that are used in preservatives in a lot of cosmetics. And even though Lush only use a very small amount, they're pretty much always the last ingredient on the label, which they are quantitative ingredient lists, so you know anything that's at the top has the most quantity and anything at the bottom has the least. However, some of the products that Lush do come in two different variations, so you will have the preserved version and the self-preserved version. I have used both of these to heal my tattoos in the past, so they're still the Dream Cream, the main base. They've tweaked around with the ratio of ingredients. So what you notice on the back is oat milk is still the main ingredient, the base for this gorgeous cream. And although you still have rose water in there in the self-preserving, it's secondary to the olive oil. So there's more olive oil in the self-preserving version, which allows it to be preserved with the ingredients that are in there, rather than having to put the methyl parabens or polyparabens in there. So essentially you have cocoa butter, there's rose absolute, there's chamomile oil, there's lavender oil, which is where it gets its fragrance from. It's quite lavender fragranced. So especially with things like chamomile, cocoa butter, oat milk, lavender, everything, rose, everything just screams soothing, gentle, calming, helping to decrease any irritation or anything like that. So when you read the ingredients list, it does become quite apparent that these would be a good idea. However, you can always go in and have a little chat with Lush staff. Like, people do come in and ask us a fair bit, like we tend to get it a fair bit, where people will come in and just be like, what's the best thing for tattoos? Or they already use it, they're stocking up on a pot, and it's because they've got some new ink and they just want to make sure they're not going to run out. So it isn't just me that says it, It isn't sold as a tattoo cream, it's a hand and body lotion, but it's so good to find something that is in quite a large substantial pot. So if you've got a big piece, then one pot, you're probably not really going to have to buy 2 pots unless you've got an entire like bodysuit of ink, which wouldn't have happened in one go anyway. And it's great because they last, just the self-preserving lasts just as long as they're preserved, so you have 14 months to use them. So if you are like me, you're getting a sleeve and it's incremental and every couple of months you're having more work done, then at least one pot of this you don't feel like it's not going to go out of date while you're waiting for your next sitting, which is really cool. I prefer, there's not much in it, however I tend to prefer the preserved version of Dream Cream for my sleeve because it's slightly lighter. I think maybe with having the ingredients tweaked around, the actual Dream Cream self-preserving feels just that little bit thicker. I don't know, they're both fairly, yeah, they're both close to the end of their life. I've got enough for this sleeve, but if you can see there's really not a lot in it at all. The self-preserving one tends to feel a little bit more oily and a little bit heavier on the skin, which is lovely for if like my legs get really dry, if I want to pop it on there. However, with the tattoo, when it's very tender as well, I just find it sinks in, the preserved version just sinks in that little bit quicker. And that's what I tell people, but I let people make their own minds up, and you've got to try it. The good thing about Lush, as a lot of you will know, is they do offer you samples, or you can go in and pop a little bit on the skin when you're walking past and see what it's like. Even though I work with this cream and I recommend it to people very often, when I first had some of the outline done down towards like the inside of my elbow, it was so tender, it was really sore. And that night I had some Dream Cream that I'd taken from the sort of little ends of a pot, and I thought I'll try it and see, and then if it's okay on the tattoo I'll stick with it forever. And I literally had like a tiny blob, and I put it just on the corner of my arm where it was really hurting, and I was so scared I didn't want to put it all over in case I had some sort of strange reaction to like the lavender or rose or something in there. And I went to bed and I just popped it on that little bit of an outline of a leaf down there, which is still outline, it hasn't been filled in yet. I went to bed, it was absolutely fine, woke up the next morning, nothing at all, and it felt a little bit calmer actually, a bit more soothed, so I feel perfectly happy now. Once I've given this a little rinse off, I'm going to let it air for maybe an hour or so, and then I will be popping one of either of them over to help to take a little bit of the heat out. And also the oat milk is really restorative on broken skin or irritated skin and dry skin. So not only is it not going to aggravate it, but it's going to help to actively restore and help the skin heal, which is fantastic, which is really what I want. So the Dream Cream is definitely the main one that I wouldn't be without. However, I have just bought, I sort of forgot about Sympathy for the Skin for a little while, and I realised the other day, why do I not use this at the moment? Probably because I've been using the charity pot quite recently for a while, and that's run out now, and so I've got myself a huge big like wodge of this so that I can try it maybe on my tattoo, give it a few days. Once it's feeling a bit more settled, I might try it on, because it sounds, I mean, with the vanilla and the cocoa butter and the bananas in Sympathy for the Skin, it sounds like something that could be quite nice and also equally as gentle. So I will find out and then I can report back. The other thing, sorry about the lid on this, it's been scratched because I've had it a little while now, is Ultra Balm. So Ultra Balm is pretty much like Lush's answer to a petroleum jelly type thing. It's an all-purpose balm, and it's really fantastic when your piece starts to scab. This just tends to, I pop it on at night, or in the day. It acts as a bit of a brightener actually for the skin, because it's a wax essentially. It's very balmy, so it's going to give that high shine. It doesn't have the richness of a cream. It is definitely Looks like a giant lip balm, like that sort of quite, feel focus, quite buttery. There we go. Just show you that again. Focus, there we go. So it's got a really oily, balmy feel to it. So I really thought Ultra Balm, again, obviously vegan. It's jojoba oil, but it has candela wax and rose wax as well. It doesn't have many ingredients in at all. It's quite a basic, a little bit like the Ultra Bland cleanser, the beeswax cleanser, if anybody has used that in the past. So the Ultra Balm's fantastic if you're starting to get, if it's an outline piece or if you've got a lot of colour in there and it's starting to scab, that really tends to soften it up. It's a really good one to put on. And because it's all purpose, you can use it, I use it at night as a lip balm because it's quite greasy, so I really sort of pile it on at night, or you can maybe pop it on your cuticles and anything really. It's a really good one for just scabs in general as well. Like once the skin's starting to heal, if it feels a little bit itchy, or you don't want the dryness of the skin. So that's always a good thing to have for later on, so once it's starting to heal a little bit more. So together, like Dream Cream would be my, definitely can't be without, and then the Ultra Balm is a really nice companion as well for healing them. And also, just as another little like can do if you want to, is one of the new products that Lush have brought out, which is called Life's a Beach. And I thought, because I completely adore this product, it's a powder. This is the little tub that we had to try. However, it comes in a box. I'll post like a link to a picture of it, that looks like sort of like 60s American washing powder. This one is made up of sand, if you can see that, and it has the fragrance of our vanilla-y perfume, that Lush makes. So it smells really creamy and rich, but it's got fine sea salt in there. I'm just going to read from the back as well because I haven't had it that long. It has jasmine absolute and tonka in, which is probably why I love it so much. I really love tonka because it's got that, it goes so well with vanilla, like vanilla and tonka just complement each other really, really well. But it's got a real perfumey smell, like, and I'm looking at, yeah, so the fine sea salt and the sand are where you're getting the actual exfoliation from. And the reason why I was thinking of this, once your tattoos are completely healed, like please do not scrub them for the first few weeks while they're healing. But obviously once you have tattooed skin that is back to normal, you want to keep it nice and looking fantastic. So my two top tips for buffing the skin and keeping it nice and bright would be these guys here. So here is a dry body brush that I have bought from the Body Shop. I used to have one, used it loads and loads, and it ended up getting wet and the wood cracked, split after a good couple of years, so I've invested in a new one. So just dry body brushing in general is a really good exfoliant for the skin, so you can use it all over. The reason that I like doing this over tattooed skin is because you've got quite a lot of control over it. Like the bristles can be quite firm if you really push, but also you can do it really nice and gently if you've got tattoos in sort of more delicate areas. And then a scrub also if it's in an area where your skin is happy to be exfoliated. You can't beat having something that's going to put some lovely like oils, or maybe one of like a body butter with the scrub in, something like Buffy from Lush, or the Rough with the Smooth, or the Rub Rub Rub, which is going to help to brighten the skin, just like exfoliating in general. But I think it's super important when you've got tattoos as well. It seems more important to keep that skin protected, keep it looking really nice, give it a nice gentle buff, maybe just like once or twice a week, something like that, before you then load on some more moisturiser. The moisturisers that I've shown you are only ones that I think are tip top for healing the tattoo. You, by all means, like, you could use something slightly different, maybe a bit firmer moisturiser, like I was saying about the charity pot or something, once the skin is healed. But obviously keep moisturising it because it can make a difference to the skin. It can really brighten your tattoos. There is also something that I do not have yet called elbow grease, another Lush product, which is literally looks maybe like an old sort of stick of like candle wax or something like that around this size, and it's wrapped in like waxy paper. And that is literally, it's almost like a sort of bar version of the Ultra Balm to use. It's got a very similar texture, and you pop it on and it's a real good tattoo brightener as well. So something like having that or the Ultra Balm at the ready if you really want to, especially if you've got maybe colour in your tattoos and you really want to make the colours pop and make it a bit more vivid, then definitely go for something like that. So hopefully that has given you some ideas of what you can use if you're wanting to stay away from chemicals as much as possible, and you do like the idea of the paraben free cream. You've got that, and hopefully I will be able to report back with maybe once I've tried the elbow grease and the sympathy for the skin on, and I will see you very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.